Everybody, clearing. Okay, so on meditation today, I clearly got to say, let's dive into what we need to know about meeting our divine counterpart, our aligned one in the ascended energies. So, after periods of separation, after cycles of integration, what can we look forward to at this time on the journey? So thank you, Divine Creator. Ooh, I opened sessions for the rest of February, so if you want to grab one, the links are in the description below. But let's dive in. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through on all the chakra levels. What can we know about meeting our divine counterpart in a heightened or higher frequency at this time? I do want to say that nice little slip that came through, heightened or higher. Heightened, when we are in heightened frequency alignment, we do tend to have meetups and temporary times of connection with our person. When we can sustain that frequency as a way of life, we bring in permanent sacred union. Okay, so thank you, Divine Creator. What can we get for advice regarding what we're going to see here? And a couple of decks for the masculines. How are the beautiful masculines showing up, and what is the advice the masculines need to know regarding their counterpart at this time? How are the feminines experiencing reconnection on a higher level? And what is the advice for the feminines navigating connection with their counterpart? So if you have not met your counterpart, this may be a glimpse into the heightened frequency or high frequency that you will experience to come into permanent union. Okay, here we go. So crown chakra, progress, mindset shift with hope. So because we've learned this higher navigation where it's not just through ego, we've put down all of our suffering ways, and now we're looking for that higher guidance. This is the energy that allows for the two to come in on that righteous level where the doubt is gone and the affirmation of the love is secured between the two. Many times on this journey, it's a ricochet of feeling like the other one doesn't love us, and then sifting through that until we've realized the love first person, so we don't have the doubt anymore. But on this crown chakra, what else? Intention, mental breakthroughs and ideas. This is mindset shift, paradigm shift. So a different way of looking at it. Instead of guessing what the other person is up to or feels about us, we look at actions, we look at patterns, we ask for divine interpretation. This is a breakthrough because then we can take or leave the person. It's no longer about whether they think we're good enough. It's whether or not somebody aligns with us. And when they do, how can you contest that? So what are we seeing for the masculines in this paradigm shift on the crown chakra, understanding relationship this way? This is sort of also like saying, not wanting to change someone. Taking or leaving. If you feel you need to change someone, let go and find something more aligned. It is a fallacy that you won't find something better. When you know better, you do better. You magnetize better. So even if you think it's your twin flame and it's the best you've ever connected with, if there is a misalignment, you can do better. Okay, what can we see? Doesn't mean give up on them. You'll know in your heart if letting go feels like peace or if hanging on feels like peace. Oh, we got the battery. Back talking me. Battery announcement. Okay, masculines. Okay, yeah. So masculines are taking an open approach about what the long-term benefit or result will be here. This is the American dream. This is unconventional, possibly better than could be imagined. So masculines, how are you showing up? You're showing up in openness. Feminines, your masculines are letting go of those cookie cutter analogies of what success and love and what a connection should look like. So this should give you a lot of hope that your masculine is no longer sweating the obstacles, sweating the small stuff, no longer hung up on those initial how do I even say this word? Bazoinkers. Why did I get that? You tell me in the comments below if bazoinkers is a sync for you. But masculines are opening their mind and actually looking at what's here rather than being adhering to an image of relationship that they want to try and squish a counterpart into. How do we need to advise the masculines? Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Okay, so I'm getting this as two-part. Yes, you see yourself, this divinity in yourself growing, and you see that in your feminine, but you also see yourself in all of your friends and families that would have something to say about it. You know, any of those external naysayers or cautionary people, you can see those aspects of yourself. When you no longer have the insecurity in you, those voices grow silent. They do not protest or give you caution. It's only when you're not sure does your reality mirror back to you the unsure aspects. Watch how that happens. When you are confidently, wholeheartedly owning something and in alignment with it, you're not going to really get any of that noise coming up. So yeah, have this empowered sense of healthy pride here, masculines, because yeah, you know where the love is. You know how this connection makes you feel. I wanted to say nice. Okay, what can we see for the feminines on the crown chakra after I stop blushing? The Hermit in the inverse. So feminines are tentatively coming forward here to meet you masculines in this energy. They're not fully in hermit mode. They're kind of stepping out of hermit mode here and there. The wings are being spread. They are, you know, looking at what's best for them going forward, but they're not entirely in hermit mode. Like you could draw them out easily. So yeah, mental breakthroughs. The feminines are very much seeing how they could start to, you know, warm up to the idea that the coast is clearing here in this connection. And so they are beginning to emerge. Their mindset is changing. They are looking at how empowered they are and how much capacity they have to set healthy boundaries for themselves, but not have to be on guard about those, but really enjoy their life and then being aware of where those standards are. They don't have to be in fear about if someone's going to encroach on those. They will just basically not be here for it if that happens. What is the advice, feminines, in this energy? Communication. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I was feeling that this morning, feeling the passion, but then also like, oh yeah, there's a couple of things maybe would need to be communicated. You don't have to. You can let actions speak louder than words if it feels right to you. That's kind of fun too. But communication, we are getting the advice. So being that this is in the crown chakra, there needs to be an expression of these shifts in thinking. Communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. So you not only need to have a balanced exchange with your counterpart feminines, but you also have to have a balanced exchange coming from first person. So everything you do needs to feel right to you, because no matter what the other person is desiring or not. If something doesn't feel right to you, it's not a secure connection. And so this is why we're being asked to have union within, because that's when we are truly good on our own and there's no suffering involved when thinking of that other person, because we can truly take or leave whatever it is that they're in the mood or flow to express or not. Yeah, so communication is in many forms. It does feel, though, that where there is a mutual desire, there is something to that, but that's not always appropriate. Only you know what you're comfortable with, feminines, that will draw you out of this hermit mode more securely. So yeah, masculines, it looks like you're dropping down into seeing how things will go, and likewise feminines are as well. So healthy pride and communication here on the crown chakra, and so that is really running through our higher guidance system. How could things look? How could things unfold in a way that actually works for the feminine? No giving away your power or settling for scraps or desiring aspects of your masculine that you don't, that have a large amount of risk involved. What can we see on the advice for this? We get shadow work. Okay, clear stagnant energy, change destructive patterns, claim your personal power, resist victim mentality, and embrace the mystery. Uncharted territory. But definitely, if you start getting into the feeling like things could go bad, you really need to stop there, especially feminines, and claim your personal power. Don't say yes when you mean no, and don't say no when you mean yes. That goes for masculines as well. What can we see on the third eye chakra? Okay, higher guidance, the high priest, keys. So keys might be important. Exchanging of keys. You know, there's been a lot of YouTube videos that I've come across where the masculines are giving the feminines literal keys. And I'm getting that there's an exchange of keys, but these keys are metaphors. So feminines, you may have somehow have given your masculine a key, whether that's a sentiment, a physical key, there could be something like that. Adenine and thiamine, duality, contrast, trust, and balance. So there's a mutual exchange of trust here. How beautiful. This is a very intuitive thing. I'm hearing the two shall be left standing. There is no other that you can trust so deeply than your aligned one. There will be no other intimate relationship more core. The only other connection you have that is more core than your aligned counterpart is your connection to source and your emotional equilibrium that is fostered when you have a secure connection to source, and then your counterpart. Yeah, so beautiful. What can we see for the masculines? How the masculines are showing up in this new trustworthy energy. Their anxiety is being released. So masculines have had trust issues, feminine, and that has caused the hot and cold here. They haven't felt like they could know themselves well enough to go all in, or that they were worthy of having somebody desire them truly that way for the long haul. What is the advice for masculines? Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Yeah, masculine. So open your eyes more and more to the love that's here, the good that's here. Don't cheapen what you're getting from your feminine by telling yourself stories about the value of what you're receiving or what you're being shown. This is saying you need to really look at that aspect and trust. This is the key. What can we see for the feminines with the third eye? Oh, the moon in the inverse, which means secrets coming to light. So there's something, feminines, that you're going to be having an epiphany about the trust that you can have with your masculine. This is key for you as well. What is the advice? Yeah, so both are showing up in a more open, energetically. Masculines don't want to keep this anxiety going where they run. And feminines, you're starting to see that there have been deeper factors at play than just, you know, the rejection stories or anything else that you've made a superficial assessment of the motives or the depth of care that your person has had. There is an affinity growing here, trust growing here. What is the advice for the feminines? Delight. Delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. Yeah, so this is happiness is an inside job. So right now, feminines, is like really revel in the delight that you can find each day and look for the depth there. Both of these cards are so positive, love and delight. Like, this is the key. Trust that you experience this within yourself regarding this person. Trust that. Focus to cultivate more of that in the connections and to talk yourself down off of any insecure or anxious ledges in your mind. This is the key, is to focus on the gratitude, focus on the love, focus on the good. It's not naive to do that. You don't have to put yourself in harm's way if there are other imbalances going on in your situation. But you do have to really understand that love and delight, those are significant things to be aware of. And you do want to focus on it. Where you focus your attention, it grows. What is the advice here? Passion, find your bliss. Yeah, delight, love, release shame. So heal emotional blocks, explore sacred sensuality, and live passionately. So on the third eye here, we're getting a sensual expression. The masculines are being given this love energy and the feminines the delight. So part of the sensual freedom is having a more light-hearted understanding of what's playing out in the connections and not demonizing certain things that maybe aren't, you know, when divine timing isn't flowing, or when divine detours and karmic lessons are being learned. There's so many judgments that we can have, but when you do come back together like this, it is about releasing the shame and healing the emotional blocks, doing things differently, and including this freedom of experience to come in. The trust, you know, cycles of heating and cooling with the counterparts temper us into what really matters, and it shows that energy is not lost. That's a beautiful message that keeps deepening and deepening lately. Live passionately. You know, you do only have this life to live once, and so don't have regrets about speaking your truth, saying yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, but honoring which is which inside of you. Living passionately means that you are so aware of what is your yes and what is your no that you can do it fully, completely, and be so alive while doing it. So if you're coming into more of an intuitive understanding about this connection and the trust that is available here, really look at that in a very grounded, practical, real, embodied way, so that you can say yes when that evidence for trust is there. And so you can say no when things fall short, if they do. But release shame and heal emotional blocks. Be here in the present with this. Let go of what has happened in the past. Find your bliss together with each other in the ways that the two of you can. What can we see on the throat chakra? Oh, there's that anxiety. So it does look like there's going to be some communication of things that are anxious and how to not go there again. Getting to know each other in a way that sorts out what people's ideas of trust are, balancing out so that there aren't misconceptions. This is clear communication about what works and doesn't work, mostly the things that are non-negotiables. It looks like on the throat chakra that the counterparts are going to be talking about their non-negotiables with each other. Subconscious awareness and Akashic information. So when we're coming into mastery, this is not just fictitious. Anxiety is when our heads are way far out of alignment from what our hearts are saying. And so when you've had a vast range of experiences and you know yourself and you've learned from those things, you understand that anxiety is actually a valid symptom of a misalignment. And so to talk about those things is to honor what actually turns you on or not. And that's one of the greatest gifts that you can tell a partner or a prospective partner, is that full embodied knowledge of what does it for you and what absolutely does not. What a beautiful message. How are the masculines going to be showing up with this crispy clarity? Ooh, public victory. Yeah, this is for all the world to see. Like, they're coming in to give you this promise. They're coming in, and in many ways, this, I'm hearing, they're going to redeem you as the one that's always had their back. Like, you have not directly, unsolicited or irrationally caused them this anxiety. In their whole knowing you, you haven't done that. And they want to give you a acknowledgement. This might be something small. It might be something bigger. But I'm feeling that masculines will acknowledge how you have always, I just heard, protected their reputation when times could have gone south or sideways. You still aligned with them because you understood feminines. So what is the advice here, masculines? Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. This is victory. This is happiness. So, you know, you have an energy of happiness. There's a lot of green here and playfulness. When you're experiencing happiness in your connection, masculines, it does indicate, and feminines, you want to pay attention to this, that when your masculine has a lighthearted free flow with you, they feel like things are working out, that things are flowing. If you are bringing a lot of, I mean, this is probably for those newer on the journey, but if you're bringing a lot of complaints and frustrations and drama, things that make you unhappy, preaching at your masculine, being their moral code, that's really karmic. You need to go balance that out and decide if this person is somebody that you actually even like if you're doing that. Because that kind of trying to change someone or control them speaks of a misalignment. But when you are in happiness, you know, they call it the bliss bubble or the honeymoon phase. That can be prolonged if it's genuine, and it means you're on the right path. So masculines, in this new higher level of connection, we are clearing away that suffering and the lower vibrational stuff. So look for the things that truly promote your happiness here, and look for where your feminine is in genuine high frequency happiness as well. What can we see for the feminines regarding this communication? Yeah, so I want to say one more thing, masculines. When we're talking about clearing out this anxiety and the non-negotiables, It's important to talk about those things so you can promote your happiness. You're allowed to have an opinion about what you want and don't want. A lot of times on this journey, masculines take an aloof or hypothetical communication style, but you can ask for your direct happiness. Be willing to risk that and say to your feminine, these are the things that make me happy in relationships. Do you agree that those are things that are important to you? You're allowed to say that, because you can't go around, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy if you don't tell your feminine what makes you happy or not, and then just get all triggered and run away if you haven't communicated, or if there's reverse psychology going on, or some of that aloof communication. The feminine doesn't understand if you bring up topics as hypotheticals or don't connect them to you and them because you're afraid of, tainting the science experiment. Being direct and talking about your happiness to prevent your own discord is really where it's at, masculines. So yeah, you're bringing victory to your feminine by being able to tell them these things. Feminines have the world. Here's the guitar, so music syncs. So this is a whole holistic approach. This is, you have really gone through it, feminines, and you've completed these immature lessons in not knowing what makes you happy or not, and acting things out with karmic partners, with relationships in general. You now can, write a grand love song of overcoming here, because you've seen those tangents and hypotheticals and karmic loops or detours, and now you've really learned who you are. What is the advice for the feminines here? So yeah, and that's what makes the feminines worthy of being crowned by their masculines as the one that they're happy with. It's so simple and beautiful. Heart chakra. The heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. What did I just say? Yeah. So anxiety is a misalignment when the mind is not listening to the wisdom of the heart, the body, and the two are out of sync. So feminines, you've seen all the myriad of prodigal ways that you reap karma when you've been out of alignment, and this is like bringing it back in. Unconditional love means that you see how vast you are, and therefore you can have this deep compassion for another fellow cosmonaut that is learning this kind of thing too. And this is really great food for thought, because we've got it on the communication. So it's like no holds barred. There's no subject that the counterparts can't communicate over. No go zones. Yeah. What can we see for the advice here? Growth, heal old wounds, spirit is ever present, restore healthy connections, expect miracles, and live fully. Exactly. When you come back in like this and you talk about the non-negotiables and the ideals, when you just get it all out there and say this, and this, it heals old wounds and it restores the healthy aspects. It's like, okay, yeah, that wasn't my idea of fun either. This is what I like. Wow, me too. That's what I like best as well. That's where we're at. Beautiful. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Wow. Okay. We on heart space. That was throat chakra. We are on to the heart space. Curiosity, open curiosity and quickening, exponential expansion, self-love. So bring your best to the table, wholehearted. This means, again, your yes is yes, your no is no. If you have hesitancy and you have an opportunity to, share your side of it, maybe to express yourself in a way that you've never been so articulate or safe or able, this is coming together when these connections come in on a higher frequency, we get to be openly curious rather than listening or connecting with judgment. And, you know, when you're in a karmic thing, you've got a preconceived expectation of how you're going to be hurt, and you're on guard for it, and then somebody says something and you twist it and you make it defensive and it becomes lame. That's the opposite, as I see here. This is two people who love themselves with open curiosity, really being able to get to the core and the heart of the essence of what turns each other on all regard. That is a metaphor, but also literally, this is where we can really just be together. What can we see for the masculines experiencing this? Just about getting ready to take a leap of faith, going all in, I just heard. So they're going to be showing up, testing the water, not so you can pass or fail, but seeing the readiness, reveling in it. Really, you know, there is a quickening, exponential expansion. So when this kicks off, it's going to be da 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 boom. Game on. That's what it's going to be like. So masculines, advice, purpose. I know what I'm here to do. I'm hearing the masculines say, I'm here to delight you. But we also understand that this purpose is a higher calling. So it's not about being lost in these foibles, lower dimensional suffering. It's about tapping in, embodied, rising, and stepping into a full aliveness. That brings our purpose to the forefront, because our purpose is innate with our passions, our gifts, our talents, the solutions we found in overcoming. It's organic. It becomes us. It comes through us when we just align with who we truly are and we heal all the stuff that we're not. That puts us on our purpose. Just do it. And it throws us into that, masculines. So you won't have to take a leap of faith that makes you feel uncomfortable. When your purpose, when service has become you, when you have healed and changed patterns and found solutions and are in your thriving and you've acclimated to that, your purpose just naturally unfolds. As well as you see that the benefit of these kinds of unions complements that purpose and it steps into place. What do the feminines need to know? Or how are the feminines showing up? Page of Pentacles, kindness. They're catching stride with all the best of you now, masculines. In the past, your feminine would have mirrored perfectly anything, like I said before, that was reverse psychology, that was not it, that was indirect, that was hypothetical, that was aloof, that was abstract. Anything you didn't communicate to your feminine in a direct personal way, your feminine used to mirror that stuff back to you in with as much authenticity and integrity and directness as you offered, and vice versa. But really, masculines, you're the action polarity. So there are things you brought and your feminine mirrored back, the things you didn't want to face in yourself. Now we've got the feminine mirroring back kindness. This is a good sign indeed, and it's on the heart space. So this now is the positive results you've always wanted, that you thought you were waiting for to be seeing from outside yourself, masculines. Now you have flipped the switch that is beginning to see that it's the way you look at it and how you communicate and how you show up that gets the results that you want. And well done, masculines, because your feminine is genuinely inspired to be kind, to be present, to not keep record of wrongs, to love you. You're teaching each other how to love, and your feminine is showing up here. And it's going to go quickly because you're going to see how much on the same page you both are. What is the advice for the feminines? Here's the curiosity card again. So that's my card of curiosity. Keep an open mind, stay curious. Even the look on this kiddo's face is like, that looks fun. I wonder what is going. Even the Fool can be a curious card, growing in this curiosity. This is a beautiful approach to life. This is lovely on the heart space. There's just an exhilarated curiosity to get to the fun part, to do it together. Supports our intrinsic inquisitive nature, which is the necessary driving force behind any growth and evolution. So yeah, there is some growth and evolution with these high frequency, next level kind of alignments. We're not looking for what could go wrong anymore. We're looking for what could go right with open curiosity. So lovely. What is the advice here? Eldership. Seek counsel of your elders. The past can inspire the future. I'm thinking even ancestors that have crossed over, if that relates. Seek counsel from your elders. The past can inspire the future. Realize your impact in the world. Spend time around trees and water. Respect your earned wisdom. You are part of nature, not apart from it. Yeah, so I do see counterparts spending time in nature, together, openly curious. But this is beautiful too, because when you are curious about what could go right, you start seeing magically, you start seeing that as solutions around you in your environment, in your living situation, in the nature around you, the way you deal with other people, the way you consume or contribute in your life. You're becoming more curious about what will draw out the best of you, what you feel best experiencing alone and together. And that is going to benefit humanity because you will be more drawn as couples to do the things that truly feel fulfilling and good. Yeah. And when your heart is aligned that way, you literally, like moths to a flame, those who need that message from you gravitate without even knowing why at first, but it does always come to light. So these counterparts are stepping into eldership. It does not matter what your age is. Masters are the new elders, no matter what age. And this journey has been one of mastery, but these couples are going to be elderships. You've been training for your eldership on the planet to change laws, to rewrite curriculum, to find niche markets, to support, to create new modalities. This is it, having a heart for this purpose, for service, for betterment, for joy, for happiness, for delight, for love, for curiosity. Beautiful. What can we see on the solar plexus? Surrendering to the love, feeling the love, letting the love be felt deep within. Form, structure, foundation, cosmology. I'm hearing the divine decrees. It's all about the love, people. If you're not feeling the love within, you are not aligning for union. If you're feeling the love within, you're calling in union. This is the fundamental key of this thing, is you got to feel it. Legitimately, call it in. Feel those aspects of it. Pull it in. I'm actually seeing, like, when you drain something, or that wherever that dam is that has the hole in it and it looks like a hole in the lake. I forget where that was. I'm feeling that in the heart space, and it's not like that void. So when you've got a bottomless pit karmic thing going on, you're like, give me attention, give me love, prove it to me, fill me up. I don't have it within me. You're not protecting me. I'm not good enough. You have to do it for me. It's your fault if I don't feel good. All of that. And you're like needy, sucking black hole energy. This is the opposite. When you feel the love within, it brings this in with twinkling gold, and you're like, oh, that part of it. You're so ecstatic when you're feeling into the goodness of the connection that it's not about having an artificial temporary band-aid. It's about letting it sink in so you can be totally good no matter what. But it calls in more of it. It's the most attractive energy, is to just feel good in yourself. Ah, so nice. What can we see for the masculine showing up in this? Queen of Wands, Divine Feminine. There's the magnetic queen herself. So they see you as being in this high frequency of loving yourself, feminines. Well done. Masculines, you are showing up in an energy that's acknowledging your Queen of Wands, your choice, your person. Oh, it's a little kitty cat there. Yeah, your Queen of Wands has reached her independence, their independence. What is your advice? Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Yeah, so you inspire your masculine so deeply. Isn't that interesting? Two different decks, and look at that's there. So there is a reflection that they see you being confident, feminines, and masculines. Yes, you are of this, or you would not have a heart of fire for this person, no matter what has been in the back of your mind all the way along. You two are so similar, and have courage. What you want is wanting you, masculines, literally. If you could start looking at the fact that you want this feminine and they want you. Yeah. What can we see for the feminines? Five of Pentacles. Yeah, so that's so interesting. Feminines, look at there, the Queen of Wands with the wand there. You are beginning to pull yourself out of this separation and empower yourself to feel that, you know, that golden magnetic energy where you're calling in the love you deserve. That's why you need to bring yourself out of scarcity, competition, lack, lower vibrational suffering. And we're talking about how to meet on the higher levels, the higher timelines. When you've processed this stuff, you find it. When you're on your own, you find it there with your soul connection, and you call it in. You rise up out of that scarcity, that illusion of separation. So there's courage on both sides here. Your masculine sees your potential, and here you are bringing yourself out of separation, feminines, by raising your frequency, by being grateful for love. You know, not just your masculine filling you up with love. That comes when you just allow love in. You have to open your heart, allow that in. What is the advice? Sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human body, we are sensual beings, experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. You're allowed to be a sexual, sensual being, feminines. You want to see it? Yeah, so allow yourself. Don't think that just because we've come through a big period of friendship establishment that you don't need to be a sensual being. Remember that part of you. It's not friendship despite a sensual connection. You've got to feel that. You don't have to just buy into just friends. I just want to say that if you feel your sensuality, you will know that your masculine is so full of it if they pretend that they're not into you that way. Feminines, just love yourself. Fill yourself up. Fall in love with yourself. That's really what it takes. If you're out there saying, I hate myself, I don't love myself, I'm blah, 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 there's your homework. You look in the mirror at yourself and say, I feel bad when I tell myself that crap. I feel good and at my best when I dare to believe those things aren't true. They can't possibly be true. You are perfectly created exactly how you were created, just like everyone else. Everyone is perfect the way they were created. The radiance flows when you, first person, acknowledge that, and your sensuality is your connection to the embrace of that in you. Whew. That is on the solar plexus, which is the empowerment. This is the self-love. Feminines, tap in. Your masculine already sees you with that potential. You even intimidate them, or have in the past, and they have had to rise up into also embodying that level of empowerment and confidence to match with you. Have you ever thought to think, or thought to think, sought to sink, no, thought to think, that your masculine has needed to also up level in their confidence and self-worth, that it's an inside job. When we tell ourselves horrible things, our physical assessment is when we dare to see our radiance and our soul value, our physical changes. So beautiful. What can we see on the sacral chakra? Oh, the advice for that one. Never mind. Awakening. So we're having an empowerment awakening. Look at this. Listen to your intuition. The answer is within you. The way you talk to yourself about your worthiness. Reconcile your mind and your heart. Stop your mind from telling yourself crap. Listen to your heart about your worth, about your beauty, about your gifts, your talents, your value, your voice. And don't tell yourself with your mind things that go against your sacred life. Let your spirit lead. People. This is a soul connection. This is an aligned soul connection because it teaches us to reconnect with our core essence, our divinity, our beauty, our purity, our aliveness, our righteousness, our love. It's all connected to that. What can we see on the sacral chakra? Foundation, security. This is connected to the heart. This is one of my cards of cracking open the safe of the heart. So there is a sensual, a sexual, a sacral connection with this heart opening. What did we get for the heart? The curiosity and the eldership. Like, this is the key to monogamy, to, you know, the deal is sealed here. The sacral is sealed, but it can grow as this heart opening grows. It goes hand in hand. And that happens in the physical. By aligning physically, you will see a next level of healing and purification and intimacy. If you've never felt true monogamy, I know I haven't. But in this next higher frequency alignment, this is what we are, the foundation we're stepping onto and off from, as we go higher into getting to feel this secure, monogamous, sacral foundation to expand upon going forward. Peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. So there have been third-party situations and histories with karmic partners on cheating and discernment of frequencies. The sacral chakra has all of those spiritual to sexual spectrum. The dungeon disintegration all the way to the chaste, ecstatic, holy of holies. And everything in between. When you're coming into the mastery, when you know yourself well enough, you've got that sacral, sexual, spiritual dialed down the middle as a foundation. And you have peace. And you see with non-attachment that everything that you have experienced has been there to bring you into this balance, this middle point. What can we see for the masculine showing up in this healed frequency? Karma. We see this like awareness. There is a sexual consummation here. So masculines know that the next time they make love, this is going to be a testament of the security on the sacral chakra with you, divine feminines. This is an awakening to the reverence of true connection. This, I heard, infallible bond that the two of you share that transcends karma and opens the masculine's eyes. The masculines know that when they make love again, they're going to be up-leveling out of their karma. I'm feeling for some masculines, I need to give you a message to take that very sincerely and no rush. Don't jump into it before you have released the confusion that karmic options bring in. Don't cheapen your connection with your feminine. If you need to cuddle and just be in each other's energy and acclimate, do that. Don't rush into more than you're ready for. What is the advice for the masculines? Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So do not defile the physical when your soul knows that something is healthy, to wait or to communicate, to talk about those non-negotiables, the ups, the downs, the good times, the bad, the things that bother you, the things that truly excite you. There does need to be health brought to the forefront, your soul's health, your soul's thriving. And so don't do anything with your physical on the sacral that defiles that peace. Masculines, karma is right here. You're on that edge of seeing what karma is and how, you know, multiple partners and people that you're only having sex with for physical gratification. That is not healthy on a soul level. And so you're starting to see that, and this is a really tender passage for you masculines, but you can never go back. And if you do let yourself down, pick yourself up again. But once you actually do see, and it does click, you will never be able to have a cheap interaction again, less than what your soul value is. What about the feminines? Ace of Pentacles. So here's the brand new prosperous beginning in the inverse. So it's just like that Fool card wasn't in the upright. This is set to happen, but not quite here yet. We've got the Page of Pentacles, which is messages of this coming in, opportunities to start laying a new foundation towards this. But the big event or offer is not quite here yet. What is the advice? So on the sacral, this is also abstinence or developing towards something that honors on the deepest soul level rather than, you know, just jumping in. I know I've been considering these themes myself today about the timing of really wanting to rush in and if that's appropriate or not, and what the collective needs to hear about that. What is the advice? Communication again, throat chakra. So feminines, about your sensual connections, about your heart and your body. Communication. The blue flower of life supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. So don't rock your own balance by getting ahead of yourself with anything that you don't feel good about. Healthy boundaries, but also just making sure that you can trust this person, that you're safe to talk about anything, that it's not about making drama, but it's really just about, you know, knowing what their true intentions are and not being in wishful thinking and, you know, not going forward blindly if the person is not on the same page as you. And so this is just so beautiful in one way because it shows that the counterparts are going to be saying things to each other that affirm the work they've done and affirm where they're at now and affirm what will work for them going forward with transparency. And so the sexual connection here is being honored. And there is a beautiful acknowledgement that not everything that glitters is gold regarding jumping into it, that it's worth waiting for these energetic reasons. Okay, root chakra, higher love, yeah, higher love grounding, and portals, possibilities, and options. When it clicks in the final hour, and it comes into the physical. All this stuff is unseen behind the scenes, and it just goes on, You know, you're feeling it, they're feeling it, the collective is feeling it, friends and family, everybody's feeling it. There's something brewing. Everybody's aware that something's about to erupt, kick off, begin. And this speaks of portals, possibilities, and options that in the blink of an eye, boom, there it is. What about the masculines in this grounding? Ooh, King of Wands. Just landed on the Queen of Wands in the reverse or the inverse here. So masculines, this confidence, this courage, it's not going to be a question when you are honoring your soul and this soul connection. When you really know that this is not another karmic scenario. This is your aligned one, and you don't want to bring karma in by dishonoring on any level. And so this is the confidence for you to, with all transparency, bare your soul and say, this is what I really want with you. You, my love. This is what I envision being the best for our connection, for our heart's safety, for our prolonged love. So when you have the confidence to bring that to your, I can barely see. When you have the confidence to bring that level of stewardship and masculine, divine masculine energy to your connection, it shall be yours, masculine. It shall be yours. What is the advice for the masculines? Trust. You can hold trust, masculines. This person is worth it. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So keep with it, masculines. You're seeing this karma so clearly and how it wreaks havoc with the soul. And that when you trust yourself and you only say yes and you only do things that feel good, actually good to you, you're never led astray. And feminines, where are we at? Oh, MG, Judgment card. That's the same one as the Karma card. We got the yin-yang tumble going on. So the feminines are seeing the flip side of what the masculines are seeing here. And I'm actually hearing, feminines, you don't see this coming, but your masculine is about to go all in, is about to choose you, is about to step into it, is about to trust that their inner voice has been pointing and it has always been you. Sometimes I feel like these are prolonged auditions, and it's not about that anybody else could possibly compete with your divine feminine. It is literally that the masculines have had to learn masterful lessons, and contrasting energies have helped to cross-reference and qualify truth. And they are about to see that they don't want to keep options open and spread too thin. You are all they need. What is the advice for the feminines? Allowance. This came out in the inverse, so this speaks of receptivity in the physical. You have to be open to your masculine. It goes hand in hand. Literally, to the degree you are open to your masculine, that is to the degree they see their karma. Might sound ironic to you, but it's not. As much as you can call them in, that's how much they will be brought in. You receive your masculine when you are dispelling the fear that keeps you cautious of your true masculine. That does not mean just be used by all. No, or by anyone. That's not actual receptivity when you're allowing yourself to be used. The frequency of allowance invites us to open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Okay, so whatever comes our way, that means you can take it or leave it, because you're not, it's finished business. When we're in resistance or when we have judgment, we can get fixated on lower vibrational things because we haven't come into neutrality about it. It's a self-fulfilling negative prophecy, and we keep it cycling in there. Likewise, we can get into limerence. So this means basically being in the neutral and really observing what is it that's being reflected back to you in your reality. It's always connected with the way you see things from an internal perspective. And so if you judge those things as external or having some power over you, you're missing how you're generating those viewpoints out into your world. And so allowing things to be there and to let that show you who you are and who you're becoming, and help you choose to, fine tune what that is so you can get more abundance and more love coming towards you. What is the, I think I forgot 2 of the Autumn Sky cards. So on the sacral chakra, we're getting compassion, be a witness, release emotions, transmute pain through love, seek to help others, and keep an open heart. So keep an open heart to your masculine. Don't close off because you might not be guided to fully consummate the connection on a higher level yet. Once you make love on each level, that's what you're saying you are ready for. So if you wait until you are in full alignment to connect that way, it's like sealing the deal at that level for the rest of your lives. If you don't wait, you might have a cycle repeat. And for the root chakra, lineage, reconnect with family, honor your physical and spiritual ancestry. The past, present, and future are all healing simultaneously. Visit your roots. Okay, so this is from family healing as well. So again, that message in the beginning. So if masculines, you're afraid of what your family or friends or your network would think of these connections, don't be, because it's all healing. As you heal, as you come into union with love, any family worth keeping around will honor and recognize that. They know you. They know when you're happy. They know when you're fibbing. They know when you're telling the truth. And feminines, yeah, this is also you doing generational healing with your family and prioritizing your family. Your family, children, feminines, are never going to be a competition with your masculine. If you feel you have to pit your children and they have to vie for time with a counterpart, they are not your divine masculine, or you're doing it wrong. Okay, many blessings, everybody. Bye for now.